We'll split the different HTML elements that we're going to cover into their own videos for you. So if you need to refer back to an individual element, you can easily do so. All the elements that we'll be looking at from now on in the HTML section of this course are elements that we write inside of the body tags of the document, as they will be viewable within the browser. There's lots of text content on web pages and apps. Let's start with the headings that you might come across in different parts, whether that be the overall heading of the website, a blog post heading, or a status update heading. They are all depicted by these heading tags. The elements themselves all start with an H and end with a number, from 1 through to 6. So for the top title of the page, we might want an H1, just like we have here. Inside the H1, we might want to put the title of the website. If we needed a heading for an article within the page, we could use another level of heading, like an H2. It's written exactly like an H1, but instead of putting a 1, we put a 2. Remember to always close your elements, ready for the next one. If that article had subheadings, we could use another level of heading again, and just work our way down. So this one is H3. It's also worth noting here that you can have more than one of these headings per page. You may have 2 articles, in which case the headings for both of these articles carry the same weight and should both use the H2 level heading. For an example of how you would structure these headings, it might look something a little bit like this, where your top level of heading is an H1, your article has an H2, that article might have 2 subheadings, in which case they'll both be H3, and then you could have yet another article which starts at H2 again. And that subsequently could actually have another H3 subheading as well. And so on and so forth. We have up to H6 for all the different levels of heading. You may notice that the browser has put different font sizes for different levels of heading. This is its default styling. This doesn't mean that we necessarily have to use the right H1 or H2 compared to font size, because we can change the font size later in our CSS. It's all about the correct order in our HTML and the fact that it reads correctly. Let's take a look in the next video at some other text elements that we might use.